Okay, let's see MOPP and FRaS in action with an actual passage. So make sure you've watched MOPP, Main Idea, Organization, Purpose, and Perspective, and FRaS, Focus, Read, and Skim, because they work together to save you time and make you more efficient at reading the passages so you're focused on the right stuff. So let's go ahead and begin. We remember that we're going to focus our attention on the introduction and the first paragraph, and we're looking for main idea, purpose, and perspective. So the time we get right here, we need to have those three things under control. The following narrative is based on an interview which was conducted by Max Millard for publication in New York City in a free weekly paper, TV Shopper. It's titled, A Man for All Seasons. There's a huge correlation always between titles and main ideas. So when a moment it tells me it's titled, I know, boom, I've got slam dunk. I'm all set with the main idea. It's a man for all seasons. He talks with Douglas Fairbanks. Well, there's the man, and we're good to go. It was in July of '79. 6 times he has received an advance to write his autobiography. 6 times he has returned the money because of the enormity of the task. He's a man of all seasons. The life of Douglas Fairbanks is too rich and varied, a man for all seasons, to be condensed into a 1-volume narrative. Well, main idea is a slam dunk, isn't it? Now, what's the author's purpose? It's an interview. He's informing us about Douglas Fairbanks. So that's the purpose. The author's perspective is that of a reporter. He's the objective outside reporter who's going to tell us about Douglas Fairbanks. So I've got those 3. Now I've got to find O. O is very important because that's the organization. That's also can be thought of as the outline. I need the outline of this thing. I'm not worried about the details because the details follow the outline. So it's easy to get back to those. So let's take a look. He says he's the only child of Douglas Fairbanks Sr., America's first great matinee idol. So we know that his dad was an actor. He's acted in more than 75 features. So it's he, the junior. So he's following in Dad's footsteps. So all of this information here is going to be about his acting career. So the way I've shown you to do that is, look, when we were doing this paragraph right here, I put the pencil aside, but I'm doing it now as you're practicing with one finger as you read. When you get here, keep one finger going because you're focusing. You're reading carefully. That's the R in FRaS. The only child of Douglas Fairbanks Sr., America's great matinee idol. He has acted in more than 75 feature films, produced 160 television plays and a dozen movies, performed in countless stage plays and musicals, made numerous recordings, written screenplays, published his articles and drawings in many of the nation's leading magazines, given his time freely. Wow, that's a long sentence, but it just shows you he's a man of all seasons. He's done countless things. And then it goes on to say 10 countries on 4 continents. And the truth is, when I got to this long list of credits for the different things he's done, I don't even need to remember those details. I just remember there's a long list there. So that's the purpose of underlining this sentence. Now I get down to the next. One morning I woke up and said, I suppose I must have retired, notes the tanned, vigorous 69-year-old at his Madison Avenue office behind his desk with his brass lion's head and his pull drawers. So there you go. So what's he talking about? He's talking about retirement. But in our long discussion, I'm going to go to 3 fingers now because I'm only going to read down the middle here. I've got a lot of supportive details in this paragraph. In our long, it becomes obvious he's never actually retired, or his force is fairly cluttered. His world travels, novelty lamps he's describing his offices, travel books. His voiced actor sits as he tells about his ongoing career. My favorite type of work right now is doing plays for limited periods. In 40, he did a stage play, and then he did a revival of My Fair Lady, but in several other plays. I don't care about these details. This is not important. I know that he's done a bunch, but look, I have right here part of the outline. It's the outline that he did plays. Then he acted in his first movie, so this is his acting career. He acted in his first movie in 23, barely in his teens, in 32, is designated a star. He continued to make in 41, he joined and he served for more, and he resumed his film career before turning his hand in 52. Supportive detail. This is the thing I always come back to. I don't care what the supportive details are. Don't bother to learn them. This isn't school. But if you know that if there's a question about his acting career, it's going to be in this paragraph. And that's why you underline things. First movie, right? He was in his teens. So if there's something about what happened later on, about his movie career, you come back right here. Then he says, everybody misuses the word star today, he explains. All right, so this is a paragraph about being a star. Legally, it only means above the title, superstar, that's a term in the language. Chaplin may have been one of the very few. All right, again, if it's about star, I'm going to come right back there. I may not remember Charlie Chaplin's name, but if there's a reference to Charlie Chaplin, I know where to come and find it. Ask whether his career was helped by having a famous father in the movie business. So you know what this paragraph's going to be about. It's going to be about his dad's influence on his career. He replies they were limited, being polite and nice, necessarily led to jobs, meant that I would be underpaid, overpaid, blah, blah. So anything about his dad and its relationship to his career, we got it. His overall career, concludes Fairbanks, doesn't have a single theme because it's been so diversified. Well, think about how that supports the main idea. It's been a series. Maybe it's cacophonous. Then we go on to things I find most interesting, don't pay a penny, but possibly all the activities. And why am I reading this thing? Because this is the last paragraph. Remember what I say, first sentence and last sentence of the last paragraph. So I'm reading it all carefully. I want to see what the author's conclusions are. They've blended together, have something to do with a person who's got a lot of curiosity and energy and capacity to enjoy and appreciate life. So we're all done. We know the main idea. It's all about the diversity and Douglas Fairbanks' life. We've got the organization. We focused on the title sentences, the topic sentences of each paragraph. We saw the author's purpose right away in the first paragraph and in the introduction. And the same thing was true with perspective. So now we've got everything down and we're ready to answer questions. Let's go on, let's take a look at the questions and see if we can answer these questions based on what we've done by looking for MOPP and using FRaS. All right, so there you go. That's a great summary of how MOPP and FRaS work together. We're looking for MOPP. You're not getting distracted by trying to learn all the details. You're focused on main idea, organization, purpose, perspective. You're using FRaS, focus, read, and skim, to find them. It's the most effective way that you can prepare yourself for answering the questions. It's going to save you time. It's going to help improve your score because you're focused on the right thing. You're not getting distracted. You're not falling asleep during reading the passage or losing track of what's going on because the details are boring. So now that you're focused on the right thing, you've got MOPP down, let's move on and answer some questions.